Hello friends of terrain building and welcome to another Middle-earth terrain building tutorial. Today I want to show you how you can build a small diorama that should complement the Ravenhill terrain with some water effects and ice effects. I adapted this to fit into Michael's theme week of the Würfelorden. As part of the last year's week, I reworked the Moria terrain, and this year I want to expand my Ravenhill terrain. I want to show you how to make these ice flows, and at the end you can see the finished Ravenhill table. In the time-lapse, you have seen what has already happened. With tree bark on the outside, I built a kind of a tub. This hole I filled with epoxy resin so that a small lake is created. I glued the tree bark with my usual glue, which you already know from different videos. In the middle, I glued some sand, which you can just slightly see after filling the resin. It's better to let the epoxy dry longer than it says on the package. If you go at it too soon, you can quickly have fingerprints on the surface that you don't want to see. In the time-lapse, you saw that I used hot water to flatten the two miniatures so that you could later lay them with their backs relatively flat on the ice, and no unsightly spots would be visible. In Azog's chest, you can also see Orcrist. I also glued a chain to a stone to represent Azog's flail. But now I want to explain to you how to build these ice pieces. This is the same technique I used for my Lake Town terrain. I take a normal picture frame, which you can buy everywhere. If you have a larger ice area, you can take larger picture frames. In that case, a smaller one is enough. I have already wrapped a picture frame with transparent foil and filled it with epoxy resin. This is about 30 grams of epoxy resin. I colored this resin lightly with white so that it is no longer transparent. After the resin has dried, you can loosen the foil again and remove the resin from the foil. You can then see on the underside that there are minor cracks and scratches due to the foil. This reflects the surface of ice well. You can either use this ice surface as a whole or break it into many small pieces. This depends on how stable you want your surface to look. In the following time lapse, I will show you the final steps and then I will get back to you when the terrain piece is finished. Here you can see the finished result of the small ice lake. With the same technique, you can create a whole river, a very large lake, or even individual small pieces of ice. It always works with the same technique. In this case, I wanted exactly this size so that the terrain piece still remains playable. The flail bonded with epoxy and dried solid. Then I glued the two miniatures firmly and painted a little bit of blood. This provides a strong contrast to the white of the ice. This is the finished terrain piece and now I'm going to show you the whole Ravenhill terrain. If you want more inspiration, check out Michael's Würfelorden as well. You can find the link in the video description. If you want to see more of the Ravenhill, you can of course have a look at my Signal Tower video.